Good morning, everyone. Welcome to PD Sports Wrap. I am Michael Jenkins, in case you didn't know, and got a great lineup for you today. Saw some things this week I want to talk about. Oh, oh. I'm missing some paper here. There it is. Okay. Well, as I was saying, this week I got to check out the Swamp Fox. I guess you would call it a summer hoop fest because it wasn't really a tournament. Let's see. Okay. It was a group of teams that were brought together to kind of sharpen their skills during this summer to get ready for the basketball season in October. Wilson played, Marion played. You had girls and boys action out there. So it was a lot going on. Let me give you an idea here of what I'm talking about. Okay. Now, it went like this. Marion boys played, varsity girls played at 12 noon. That was on, what day was that on? I think that was on Tuesday. And you had Lee Central playing against West Florence. That was boys action. Marion boys played against West Florence after that. And then Mullins varsity girls played, followed by 1 o'clock Mullins versus Andrews varsity girls played. Wilson versus Socastee boys played. Lee Central versus Socastee boys. And the nightcap was Marion versus Wilson. And that was a good one. Even though I only stayed for one half, I stayed and watched. I watched one half of the girls' game, Marion versus Mullins, and then I watched the first half of the boys' game, Marion versus Wilson. And we had in attendance Mr. Basketball, South Carolina, for the last 2 years, Mr. Josh Leonard. And let's take a look at, we can find Josh's numbers here, because when a guy wins Mr. Basketball 2 years in a row, it's nothing to sneeze at, y'all. That's pretty impressive. And watch, I'm not going to be able to find his numbers. At any rate, Marion boys, and these are the guys that the fans will be looking to in the coming season to elevate the Swamp Fox program beyond what has been elevated in the last couple of years. And you got 6'8" Ian Goss. He's the centerpiece for them. They got him listed at forward, but he kind of plays all around the front court. He looks different to me this year than he did last year even. And he was very good last year. But this year he seems to be playing with more energy. He's more active. I think that this is going to be another big year for Ian Goss. But he's not alone, because he's got some playmates that are going to contribute mightily as well. Roderick Dickerson is a kid that I've spoken about extensively last year. When he got my attention, coming off the bench for Marion, is a big kid, about 6'4", power forward, rebounder, has soft hands, can score, can put the ball on the floor as well. So I expect Roderick, who I think is going to be a junior this year, to really be a big piece of what Marion does and a factor in how far they go. Another youngster I have been thinking about for basically several days, weeks even, after I saw him play last year, and his name is Jakari Brown. Now, I posted a picture of Jakari the other day, and I said that, okay, he's going to be, really special and blah, blah, blah. I didn't realize who his family was. And turns out his grandfather is a guy that many of you know from Marion. His name is Juba Bowie. Juba Bowie. Now, Juba didn't get famous playing varsity basketball around here or anything. He got famous in the rec department. My teams played against Juba probably every year for about 3 years in a row. And I promise you, this guy was a special talent. I often said that there were a couple of guys that I saw in the rec that were the missing links to a potential championship team by Marion if they had advanced to that level. And they didn't. Juba was one of them. Another guy by the name of Huey Page, a little guard. He was another one. These guys would have been paired with the likes of Terrell McKelvey, Quincy Galls, Thurman Leggett, even Cario Charles, Dion Howard. They would have been paired with these guys. But they never got to the high school level. And that's unfortunate. But Juba's grandson, Jakari Brown, is one to watch. He's not that big, but he is. I mean, he plays big, and he plays fast, and he plays hard, and he's tough as nails. I expect him to have a real breakout season for Marion this year. So watch out for Jakari Brown. Now, I've also spoken extensively last year about Jashawn Grant. And, when you look at these players, there's families connected that I know. Now, Joshua Grant is the son of Josh Grant, who is the son of Wilbur Grant. So, again, the legacies are continuing here. Joshua is just an outstanding talent. He's a point guard. He had some struggles last year. I'm pretty sure he's going to get those struggles straightened out because he is a gifted ball handler, a gifted scorer, and with great court vision this kid had. Great passer, by the way. So you're going to have to, really watch out for Joshua this year. Another kid who has been on the radar for a long time now, but seemed like he's been around forever, but he's starting to come into his own now as well, and that's Jaden Nolan. They expect big things out of him. I mean, Jaden has superstar potential. Jaden's brother played for Marion several years ago, and he was great. But Jimmy Howard had been telling me about Jaden about 3 years before I even knew who he was, before I even saw him. And he was just a little tiny guy then. So over the years, I've seen him here, I've seen him there, and he's gotten better every single year. Last year was a really strong season for him. I'm thinking this year is the breakout year for Jaden. Now, there's a growth spurt that I'm expecting from Jaden as well, because Jaden's dad's about 6'7". His brother's about 6'5". Jaden's about 6'2" right now. I know that he grew last year because I met him in the hallway of a game, and I stood up next to him, and I measured myself against him. And I said, "Looks like you grew a little bit." He said, Yeah, I did. So he shot up about 2 inches last year. I think he's about 6'3" right now. I look for him to grow more. And then there are others like Amari Green, my little neighbor, who has been saddled with injuries over the last couple of years, so he hasn't really contributed much. He plays baseball, he plays basketball, and he plays football as well. And I think football might be his ticket, or baseball. You have some coaching things going on for Marion and Mullins right now that are very positive things. This was after I saw the Marion and Mullins girls. You got Essence Grant assisting the Swamp Foxes and Coach Justice Gee. and you've got Brittany McDonald, a more recent superstar at Mullins, is on the bench for the Auctioneers as well. And I think that to have these two players of this magnitude, coming back in to help and to work with the youngsters, it's going to be nothing but positives coming out of that. I promise you. But while I was at the game, I'm just sitting there watching, and I seen this young girl moving around out there where she got my attention. She was moving with a purpose. She was moving like she knew what she was doing. Well, as it turns out, the girl comes with a nickname handle already. Some people call her Big Kaz. Some people just call her Kaz. Her name is Kazlee Falk. Remember that name, folks. Kazlee Falk. Now, Falk, because after I posted a picture of her, turns out you all knew her. You all knew her. Y'all be keeping secrets, man. Okay. Kaz is a tall girl. She is a nice sized girl. She's not huge. She's just a good size, especially considering the girl just finished the 6th grade. She's a rising 7th grader. And just by virtue of her being on the bench during this event shows you that the coach has her in her plans. Now, what did we do with a girl who is possibly as good as she is? Do they leave her at middle school and maybe play 1 year in middle school before she goes to maybe JV? Or do they take her right now to JV? Or do they take her right now to varsity? That can happen too, even though I think it's less likely. She's probably going to need a little bit of seasoning, okay? But she's very impressive. And I'm told, and I've seen some others who are in her age group that I've seen in the gym with the coach earlier in the year, earlier in the summer. So Marion girls are building a power. There's a wealth of talent all the way down to these youngsters right here. Kazlee is going to be a part of that. Just keep an eye out for her. I was really impressed. And then there's a young lady from Mullins that I also was impressed with. I seen her play for Mullins last year, and she was struggling some. I mean, you saw some good things, but this year, right now, when I seen her the other day, I seen a tremendous improvement. This is a big girl. When I say big, she's tall and big and takes up space in there. She's moving well, and her offensive game seems to be coming around pretty good too. So I'm impressed with her. Her name is Timoni Brock, a 5'11" sophomore for Mullins. So, yeah, she's going to be around for a couple more years. Maybe she's going to be a junior this year because that could be a junior coming up, but it says sophomore, and that was last year's roster. Also this week, I had a busy week. Got to finally meet the Marion High School football coach. And Coach Perkins is his name. And he is a very impressive guy, to say the least. I think Marion and I think DJ has done himself a great service to the fans by bringing a guy in like this. And, he talks good. He seems focused. And I believe that Coach Perkins might be the right guy to turn this whole thing around for the Swamp Fox. Yes. His name is Andres Perkins. And he has agreed to come on the program maybe next week. He has to take his son to college this weekend. But he's anxious to come on and, and talk to the fans and give the fans an idea of what they can expect. Because I said to him, I said, you know what? You got a hard job, bro. I said, you got a monumental task to bring this program back to some kind of semblance of prominence. He said he knows. And he said he's in it. He said he's in it for the long run. That he ain't going nowhere. He's going to build this thing back. And I believe him. But again, another great hire. That's two great hires that DJ Kelly has made. One last year with Miss Justice Gee, the head basketball. This girl is really focused on what she's doing. I mean, Justice Gee she's on this thing. And she's got her hands on all these kids, all these youngsters that are coming up. She knows what's going to happen. She knows what she's building. Don't forget, this is Whirlwind Nation coming to Marion. Timmonsville Whirlwinds girls team. Great power over the years. Justice was on a lot of those teams. She was a starter, I believe, since at least the 7th grade. So that's why the whole Kaz Lee thing makes sense for me. It makes sense that she could be on the varsity one day. I don't know. Like I said, it's not very likely, but you have to understand the blueprint, and you have to understand the fact that Justice Gee, the head basketball coach of the program, has done exactly that before. Maybe she sees some of herself in this girl. So stay tuned for that. I got a video from Bobby Richardson, the head women's basketball coach over in Atlanta. And he sent me a video of Jermichael Wright's daughter. And Jermichael had been, I've been kicking it with him from time to time, a little bit about his daughter back when she was much younger. But she's grown up now, folks. Grown up to at least a 7th grader. And her name is Braylee Wright. You will be hearing from her too. Big time. She's the niece of legendary Ruby Lee Wright. You remember that name, right? Ruby Lee torched everybody around here. Torched them. My daughter, Shauna, was one of the people that she torched. Because she tried her hardest to guard Ruby, but there was no guarding her. I'll forgive Ruby credit for my daughter becoming a physician because she knew basketball wasn't going to be her ticket, so she went to medical school. Thanks, Ruby. Well, the NBA championship and the NBA champs are the New York Knicks. I salute the New York Knicks. I'm not celebrating their championships because I stopped being a Knicks fan a while ago, after my whole life being a Knicks fan. You might ask, why did you become a not Knicks fan? It's one thing. It's the way they treated Raymond Felton. When Raymond went back to the Knicks, basically I was all in. I really was. I was excited. My favorite guy on my favorite team. And the team was building, and it looked like they would get to the top of the mountain. And then they lost to Indiana and looked terrible doing it. And the next thing you know, Melo wants a new point guard, which means he wanted Raymond gone. Eventually, he was gone. And when they sent Raymond packing, I basically sent them packing. And then I became, hey, you see what I became? I became a Golden State Warriors guy. And I became a Golden State Warriors guy because Steph Curry is my favorite player in any sport. My favorite player in any sport is Steph Curry. So I'm a big Spurs. I mean, big Lakers. I'm a big Warriors fan now, and I'll remain a Warriors fan at least until Steph retires. But the Knicks did great, and there's a lot of Knicks fans in my sports group, who are long suffering, and there's a lot of friends that I have who are Knicks fans, like Buddha Rat and some others, who are long suffering. I was long suffering too, because the last time the Knicks had won a championship prior to now was 1973. I was 16 years old. That's the last championship banner that the Knicks hung. But now they're back on top, and this was a good team. I like a lot of the players on this team. OG is probably my favorite player. Then Cat. Then you got Jalen Brunson. And Josh Hart, the other Villanova guy. So this was a solid basketball team here. Now, the other side of the equation is the Spurs, who were their opponents in the finals. And of course, they got the generational talent in Wembanyama and a bunch of other outstanding talented guards and whatnot. But their problem was they couldn't close games. They had a lead in every single game during this series. And only one time they were able to hold on to it. I felt the Spurs could have swept this series. And I know it seems weird because I'm saying they could have swept the series, but they ended up only winning one game. Just one. Jalen Brunson, who is a guy that I have some issues with because I think he's a hog, a shot nut, had a big game, over 40 points to close it out in San Antonio. So my hat's off to him. I always liked Brunson. I just think that I think he's a hog. Anyway, that's all I got with that. But the Knicks had their big parade. I'm happy for all my New York friends who've been long suffering. There was a big trade this week, and that was Giannis Antetokounmpo getting his wish and moving on from the Milwaukee Bucks. And as it turns out, he will be matriculating to South Beach, Miami. And people, well, the jury is still out on whether this thing is going to work, because they feel right now, a lot of people feel like they gave up too much and they're not left with very much to build around those guys. Pat Riley, I kind of got some faith in. I think Pat will put together some players around Bam Adebayo and Giannis, and I think the Miami Heat will be fine. I mean, I have to think that. But they did give up a lot. But I guess the big fish now is LeBron James and what he's going to do. Because, LeBron James is notorious for holding teams hostages while he plays around and hems and haws and then decide what he's going to do. But it's always going to be in his best interest, not in the team's best interest. It never is. So we're going to see what he's going to do. There are talks about he may go to the Warriors. I don't want that. I have prayed 5 nights in a row that he doesn't go to the Warriors, and I'll make it 6 tonight. I don't want that. You think about him going there and, winning a championship, it would be bittersweet for me. Yes, it will be another championship for Steph, but it would be bittersweet to me that Steph dragged this cat to another title. Ideally, and, of course, this is just my opinion, and, I am a kind of a hater. I just want LeBron to retire. I don't necessarily need to see him on the basketball court anymore. I really don't. And I don't think wherever he goes this year, I don't think it's going to end well for him. I'm not hoping that it does, but I don't think that it will. The man's going to be 42 years old. This is basketball we're talking about. No one has ever played that long. Ever. Now, I know, and I don't want to dirty the guy up, but I know that there's been talk of hemorrhoids use, of steroid use over the years, and that is contributing to LeBron's longevity. I'm inclined to kind of believe some of that. I mean, it's not natural for a guy to play this long and this well at this age without some help. And I don't know, but I believe that maybe one day the truth will be known about that. But I don't think that this year that you're going to see, I think you're going to see a big drop off this year. You've seen a lot of it last year. His defense has really gone down. His offense is good, but it's not great. I believe that you'll see that trajectory going down. Now, another team that they're talking about LeBron going to is the Cleveland Cavaliers. He played for Cleveland. He played for Miami. I don't know why either one of those teams would want him back. I don't know why either one of those teams would bother with taking him back. I mean, he left Cleveland 2 times. You wimped out on Miami after they got beat, and Pat Riley wouldn't yield to your every desire and get players that you felt that the team would benefit from. So you go back to Cleveland and you won that bogus championship there, and then you left them after they got swept, and now you're off to LA. And now you won that little bubble championship. In other years, you didn't make the playoffs. You got swept from the playoffs. I mean, I don't know how anybody could look at this LA thing with LeBron and consider it a success. Because I'm sure that they were looking for a lot more when they dragged his bones out there. But Cleveland or Golden State are the teams that they say. Cleveland, Golden State, and Miami are the teams that they're saying that LeBron's going to probably end up. I just hope it's not Golden State, please. Well, the football season will be here before you know it. It's getting close. And we're talking, what's the 27th of June today? 4 weeks from now, football activity gets kicked up. Stuff going to start getting done. And then before you know it, we're in August, then you're going to start seeing those jamborees and scrimmages coming up. I'm going to probably attend a 7-on-7 for the first time next week. Marion is going to be up at Marlboro County High School. So I work up there. I can just leave there and go right to the field, watch a little bit, and come on home. Anyway, that's all the time I have, but I'll be back next week with more. Hey, when's the 4th of July? That's next Saturday?
Saturday.
Wow, I don't know if I'm gonna be here next Saturday. I ain't promising you next Saturday, but we'll see. If I get the people that I want as guests, then yeah. than I will be here. Anyway, I'm out. Later.